So for task one, we had to find different video installation artists, one piece of their work and analyze it, and then see if we could get inspiration and kind of really understand the whole concept behind uh, video installation. It's something I've never really come across before. Well, not knowingly anyway. But I started with this one, the Japan Kagami, whatever, some sort of performance. I did some research and found out it's a cultural performance art that combines karate and kabuki. And the show I looked at, this one, which was a link on Moodle, shares that this says it is a has a modern twist consisting of digital technology and street dance. I like with it how they've used projections and the music to sync it together, so it works with the music, and the actor or performer performing it is in time, and it's very effective. I'm not sure there's that much of a narrative in it when watching it. I think it is just a bit abstract and different. The color scheme, just black and white, you can see it changing there. If I had the sound on it, would be changing with the music, which is obviously very effective, and it works with the shadow, which if you watch it all the way through, the shadow from the performer actually duplicates at one point, and the performer, what am I trying to say? Performer dances in the same time at the same time simultaneously to the shadow which is being projected onto the other side, so it looks like it's meant to be there and nothing looks out of place, if that makes sense. I'm not sure it has a specific target audience as such. I think it is just for more entertainment rather than to get across a message, as I said earlier, rather than having a narrative in it. So I think it can be it's aimed at a large range of people, maybe not kids as such, but definitely the majority of adults. So other than that, if I move on to my second one, which is this one, Bill Viola and Acceptance. This one is probably the most powerful one I've chosen. I chose to look at, and it's about, from what I could figure out, a female figure, obviously, which you can see on the screen there, which I think automatically relates to a female target audience, and it's looks like she's appearing through some falling water. When I was thinking about it a bit more, and I looked it up, it says that the water can be seen as an obstacle of which the female figure is coming through, trying to overcome. And for me, even the title acceptance relates to me about society nowadays and how vulnerable people are and how much you have to fit in and be accepted. And I think the water shows like almost society attacking everyone, especially with the social media. Even though this came out in 2008, when social media wouldn't have been as big, I think it definitely, to me, relates to that now. I think the black and white color scheme, again, same as the one before, it really isolates the figure from the background, which obviously concentrates you onto the figure in the middle. The distressed body language you can see, I think, is really powerful, and obviously near the end, as you get to hear, it changes as she overcomes that obstacle, which I said earlier. But as I am going to do something on the lines of mental health, probably, and depression, etc., this here I think is a key image because it relates to what your head is doing at points. So I think that could be very effective. Looking at it again, I think it's in slow motion, part of it, so it could show the struggle and how difficult it is to get through it, if you know what I mean. What else have we got here? The fact that she's naked could again show that she's vulnerable, because obviously when you're vulnerable, it got me thinking about a shower and vulnerable and women and that, and made me think of the Psycho scene when obviously she's in the shower and stuff like that. It made me think of that and how vulnerable she's in that as well. So yeah, so for that one, I really like that one. Definitely the most powerful one I've chosen. From then, I was thinking from along my mental health route from then. Other than the first one, I think the last three I picked related to that a bit more. And the next one is this here, which is probably my favourite one from the concept idea, and I do like it. it's been uploaded by this guy called Ewan McLeod. My pronunciation is awful. But cut, copy, lights and music, video art version, and it's, as you can see here, this paint on this woman's face is being played in reverse, and it all coming off her face. And I think it has a similar message to the one seen in the video before about society and being accepted, and how almost you have to portray yourself differently nowadays to fit in. And I think this shows that once you get to know people, it's the different layers are on show and they come off, and you get to see what the real person is. Because I think social media is all about portraying yourself to be someone almost who you're not, or just your best side. And I think this shows that if you look deeply into something, it's never judge a book by its cover type thing. You know what I mean? I think this, by the age of the woman, and definitely if my whole idea of it based around society and fitting in, etc., is correct, then I think it'd be a teenage target audience / young adults, the people who are most likely to use social media and almost want to fit in more, I suppose, than older people. I mean, that's just my opinion. I like how it's played in reverse. It's an idea until I saw. I mean, I didn't really think about it at all. I hadn't really thought about it much, in a sense, until I'd seen a video installation at all, in a sense, until this. But I think the fact it's played in reverse, and if you get it for a bit, wait for a bit longer. If I get it to around here, you see the actor themselves actually pushing it off, as if like they put these barriers up in front of people because they don't want people to see who they really are. I mean, it might it might not make sense to you, but that's what it means to me, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that is that one. I don't think I've got anything more to say about that one. And the last one it actually pointed me to this video from pointed me to this song by Goat. Yeah, oh my god, my pronunciation is awful. Somebody that I used to know. I've watched the video when it first came out ages and ages ago, but obviously didn't at the point realise it could be video installation. But I looked up and it could be. And I think this again relates to the mental health, as do the previous two which I've shown you. And it's all about I think it shows how relationships fade into the background quite easily sometimes. And I mean, obviously that is what the song's about anyway, so the music video relates to it. But how just like it's almost like just a little bit of paint, but not much. It doesn't take much for you to lose people nowadays, and everyone's always so distracted by other things, such as social media and such as just things in their life. Like for example, see, it's just painted and he's almost gone. And I think this scene here coming up now is definitely the most powerful part, when the female vocals kick in. I mean, that shot there is so easy to fade into the background almost, just through a little bit of paint. The paint, obviously, again, is a recurring theme from the cut copy, lights, music video I just saw. So I think the paint is a good way to show. I don't know whether you'd call it like a cover up, or I mean, it's clear that it's not skin color. It's not natural, I suppose. A bit like makeup. That's what I was also going to say actually about this one. Now I remember, it's almost like I mean, obviously not as someone who uses makeup themselves, but almost like the amount of makeup sometimes you see young girls and people apply, because it's how supermodels and whoever are portrayed now, and how that's the way to look. So I think that could have that could be something to do with this as well. So yeah. So yeah, back to this one. I'm not sure actually I've got much more to say. Yeah, relationships fade into the background, pain. Yeah, so I think with definitely this one, the acceptance one, and then the copy like some music one. I think all three of these are helping me piece together an idea or something to do with mental health and depression in my head. Definitely this one, I think for sure, because obviously if you've got depression, well, speaking from personal experience, you don't necessarily show it all the time to everyone. It's very something inside, until someone knows you well enough, they'd figure that out. So, for example, the paint going away from the person's face or them rubbing it off, they're letting themselves to be seen to the real person. The acceptance thing is definitely something. I think the struggle aspect of it, and coming through the other side, as I hope I am eventually, is definitely something which I could use. And the distressed body language is something in my head I'd already had an idea about, but seeing it like this in something someone's already produced makes you think it could definitely work, and is definitely very powerful to watch, and you connect with it in a human sense. This one I like, and if my pad works, I like this. I like how it looks. Obviously, it's a music video, so it's a bit different, I suppose. But yeah, definitely the paint on the skin again, and how it fades away, and it's hidden, aspects like that, stuff to do with mental health and depression. I think that would work. Yeah. So yeah, it's my task one.